What's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2022 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Diesel. Up front is a 3.0 liter turbocharged diesel inline 6, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here diesel Sierra for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is my first diesel Sierra, but the second reason is the fact that last year I drove a 2021 diesel Silverado with this same engine, as well as sharing with you guys one of the best diesel experiences I've had to date. But before we get on with anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where I do sell stickers like this retro sticker pack I have for sale right now, as well as you can also submit your vehicle through a very easy submission form if you want it to be reviewed by me. And I have a behind the scenes blog where I write about what I'm filming that week to keep you guys up to date. But let's get back to that 3.0 liter diesel inline 6. Well, I always forget that inline 6s are still a thing in American vehicles. And it makes 277 horsepower, but 460 foot-pounds of torque, which is just fantastic. I really like this engine, and I really like this diesel driving experience. You know, to me, I'm not a big truck person, and whenever I drive a diesel, it's always sort of this big, throaty, ominous power from up front. And while yes, they make a lot of torque, I wouldn't want to drive one around town because they never really have power on tap. Well, this is very different, and of course that is paired with that 10-speed automatic transmission. I think that really does help out as well. But the fact that it's an inline 6, you have a lot more usable power down low, and it doesn't feel as lazy. With a lot of diesels, you kind of have to poke the bear in order to get it to do things. Of course, once you do poke the bear, well, you get to deal with the fun of that. And diesels can be very fast and very powerful. I don't know, but to me, diesels have always felt like they aren't really too happy all the time. This actually drives like a normal gasoline pickup truck. And that's what I love. And that's why the title of this video is The Diesel You Can Live With. And I'll explain more in my final thoughts segment if you'd like to zoom to that portion of the video. But I really like the way this drives. When it straightens out here, let me give it a little bit of the juice. Kicks down and accelerates right away. Feels good. I don't feel like I'm bothering it by asking it to do that. Last but not least, of course, this is four-wheel drive. We'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of gauges. On the left is my tachometer. Then up at the top, I have my oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel, and battery voltage. And on the right, I have my speedometer, and of course, I do have a little screen down in the center. GM is really good about giving you a lot of information that you see me cycling through here, but also this screen has a lot of good colors in it. It doesn't feel like this is just a basic screen they pulled out of a Chevy Spark, although it pretty much is. But I like all the different colors. It makes it feel a little bit more expensive. On the steering wheel, on the left, I do have my cruise control options. And on the right, I have my selectors for that screen and the gauges, as well as voice commands and phone options. The overall steering wheel is leather wrapped. I really like the stitching on it. It feels nice in my hands. And the Elevation isn't any crazy package. It's really a mid-tier package, so you get some bells and whistles, but nothing too crazy. Off to the left, we do have my trailer mode, which is fantastic, as well as my four-wheel drive setting. So you can leave it in auto, 4 high, 2 high, or off-road mode, which essentially is going to be 4 low. Then I do have a bunch of different lighting options for my fog lights, my cargo light, gauge dimmer switches, as well as, of course, my headlight switches are all found off to the left. On the door, I have lock and unlock up top, and then my power mirrors and power windows on the door itself. And then moving into the center, we get the very typical GM infotainment system. This is pretty much found on all new GM products. And I like the user interface. I think it's very bubbly. I think it's easy to use. You point and pick what you want, and I like that a lot. Of course, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also get your trailer light options here in the center screen. And we do get some camera options as well that I'm showing up on screen. I think it's good, definitely good enough for the Sierra, these camera options. And I overall like the usability. The screen is a little tiny bit laggy every once in a while, but that's okay by me. Down below that, I do have some physical buttons for the media, as well as volume and check and skip track, home, things like that. The climate controls, you have a ton of different buttons and switches. Not only do you get dual zone, you get auto climate, but also you do have heated seats, and you can pick if you'd like to heat just your back or your back and your butt. and your passenger gets to have those picks as well. Then we get a couple of interesting switches down below. I do have my automatic start-stop on and off switch. This is something that really bothers me, especially here on a diesel. When you come up to a stoplight, when this is turned on, your vehicle will turn off in order to save fuel. I don't like this feature on gasoline cars, but then when you put it onto a diesel, it gets much worse because diesels don't really like starting. And according to the owner, on a cold start, this takes about 2 seconds for the diesel to crank over. I don't have that kind of time when I'm in the middle of an intersection. So I'm not a big fan, and yes, you can turn it off down here. However, you have to turn it off every single time you start the truck. Then I do have a power tailgate opening. This does have a power tailgate, which we'll talk about with the bed. I have my hazard switch in the middle, traction control off, and then I have a switch to roll down all of the windows at once, which is very nice, but it does not work back up. So I have to manually roll them all up. Not manually, it's power, it's 2022. I'm not stressing myself out, but there is no button to auto put them all back up, is what I'm saying. I do get a 12-volt outlet and USBs down below that. And then moving on to the center console. The center console has a bunch of small little cubbies to put little things, and I like that storage a lot. However, we'll do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Sierra, and it actually fails. I'm sad to say the GMC Sierra elevation fails the big friggin' bottle test, which is a little sad to see, especially given the fact that this is a truck and I want to do truck things with a lot of water, but I guess I can't. Moving on to the seats. The seats are nice and comfortable. They are cloth. Like I said, the elevation is sort of a mid-tier trim level, so you're not going to get that Denali leather seats. However, I do think that the seats are comfortable, and we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2022 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation diesel, and a couple of things to note back here. First of all, plenty of space. I'm 5'11". I have no prayer of hitting my head on any type of ceiling or anything. Knees, same thing. No prayer of hitting the seat in front of me. And this is like the normal seating position, which is really great. Down below, I do have 2 USB chargers and a 12-volt outlet, as well as I do get my own vents. I do get a center console back here, some little cup holders and things like that. That's pretty much it. Nothing crazy back here besides the size. This is the full 4 doors. You can get little half doors as well. This is the full 4-door, and if you plan on driving people around, this is 100% the way to go. Very comfortable. I would feel comfortable sitting back here on any distance of road trip. I think would be totally fine. Let's go take a quick look at the bed. We have some interesting things to talk about with the tailgate, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the GMC Sierra Elevation 1500 diesel. Too long of a name. Anyway, I do have these 2 buttons right here. So press 1 and it actually soft opens on its own, which is fantastic. This is GMC's 6-way tailgate. So once you come into here, you can also pop this up, use this as sort of a cargo stop if you have 2x4s or something back there. You can also just open this little top portion and then again open this up for more of a cargo stop as well. And then you can fold that back down, fold this back up, bring this down, then fold this down, then fold this down, and just like Hasbro's Transformers, now you have a step up into the bed. Very handy, and it does go lengthwise. And I've seen companies as well as GM itself will actually put speakers here. It's a very expensive option. So I've never seen a truck have them, and obviously work boots can kick right through that. So not a very smart option. However, something you can do if you want to build a tailgating truck or something of the sort. But actually getting into the cargo, we do have some tie downs on either side. No factory bed liner in this one. Pretty basic truck stuff going on back here, and you do have some nice LED lights up top. Now we got to talk about the looks. I love the look of the new Sierra. I think it looks fantastic, and the elevation does get the blacked out wheels and things like that. Some blacked out trim as well, and I overall really enjoy the look. However, I will leave in the description below the owner Eddie's Instagram because he has some plans for this truck, and I am very excited to see them. He plans on dropping this truck and putting it on really cool wheels. I haven't seen a diesel like this lowered before, so that'll be interesting to see. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on the GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Diesel. Well, as the title suggests, this is the diesel you can live with. And before the diesel guys start to get all up my throat, yes, you can live with a 2002 7.3 liter F350, much like you can live walking 2 miles each day for clean drinking water out of a well. You can live that way. But it's easier when it runs out of your tap at home. You don't have to stress about it. And that's how I feel about driving this diesel Sierra. I don't have to stress about it being a diesel. It has very few diesel quirks. Yes, it does take a little bit longer to crank on a cold start. But then again, it was 10 degrees this morning here in the Chicagoland area. I don't blame it. It took way longer for me to wake up and get out of bed than it did to crank this truck. That's not that big of an issue. In the summer, it'll be fine. But driving it around, I don't feel like I have this giant pissed off box under my hood that I can't even wrangle. That's how I've always felt about big diesels, the 7.3s and the 6.0s and all these big turbo diesel V8s. Those V8s feel to me like that friend that is stubborn to go out, but once you get them to go out to the bar with you, they're a blast. They're your favorite people ever. But it's getting them out is so hard. This doesn't feel that way. This is just a buddy. It's a friend. Hey, yeah, you want to go to the supermarket? Let's go. Let's hop up and go. It doesn't give you any fuss. It doesn't give you any sass. And I really, really like the driving experience of these new diesels. I mean, this really is a whole new world. If you've grown up driving diesels from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, LBZs, I love LBZs, and I hope to review one soon. You got to drive the new stuff just to feel what it's like. I think you'll be really, really impressed. To further push my point, I'm behind the Sierra, obviously, right now, and I have my microphone on. There's a little bit of a rattle, but I can talk like a normal human being right next to it, and it sounds just like a normal truck. Idling it isn't going to annoy your neighbors like the diesels of yesteryear. I love it. I love it. This thing's so normal. The other thing is that this vehicle, over the last 50 miles, has gotten 24.7 miles to the gallon, which has all been city driving. Apparently highway, you can get up to 34 non-towing in one of these. That's the same fuel economy as my little 4-banger Mazda 3. What the heck? I thought I had good fuel economy, but here comes this chiseled obsidian block with a GMC badge getting the same fuel economy as my little Japanese toy box? I want my money back so I can invest in one of these. I'm a really big fan of this diesel. I think diesels have come a very long way, and if I were going to own a pickup truck and drive it every single day, have it be my only vehicle, this is what I would want. If you have to tow skyscrapers, get the bigger diesel. Get the 3500. But if you don't have to carry 1.8 million tons worth of concrete, I think this is a really solid option. It's definitely the decision I would make. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Eddie for letting me take out his diesel. This thing is just fantastic. Like I said, please go check out his Instagram. It's in the description below. He has some serious plans for this thing that I think are going to be really, really cool, and I can't wait to see him do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.